Hi guys, so Jessica here. So I'm going to show you what succulents kind of look like at different watering stages, and kind of a couple signs to look for underwatering and then overwatering as well. So watering is really important because if you are underwatering, it won't kill the succulent. However, if your succulent is producing a lot of offsets, then those are going to be the first ones to dry up. And so you really want to make sure that you're keeping your succulent watered properly, because then those will grow really healthy and then you'll have more succulents that you can use. And then overwatering is really important not to do, because it can lead to root rot, because succulents are very susceptible to root rot, and that will kill the succulent. And so I have a couple examples here of what I wanted to show you. I have been crazy busy the last couple weeks. I've been in Minnesota moving my fiance into our new apartment, and then I came back here to South Dakota, and my succulents were a little neglected, and so I have several that are underwatered and have the perfect leaves to show you. And then I did have one that I must have overwatered a little bit, and it's doing fine now, but I just am gonna fix it anyways to make sure nothing happens. And I'll show you what I mean here in a minute. So I'm going to turn the camera around and give you guys a close-up of those. Okay, so this here is a really pretty little jewel. Here's a couple leaves that have come off. But if I turn it around, the stem should look something like this. This is not a little jewel, but this is usually what a healthy succulent stem looks like. And this is what this one looks like. So this is an example of overwatering. So it's actually, okay, so I have a really sharp knife here. It just has to be clean, doesn't really have to do anything else much special. So I'm going to remove a couple of these leaves closer to the top, and then I'm going to make a clean, nice cut that doesn't have any of that black stem on it. So sometimes it's just easier to remove this part anyways. I'm going to save these little leaves for propagation. If you haven't checked out that propagation video on how to propagate succulents, definitely go do that. I'll include a link below. These ones might not be the best. Sorry, I got out of the range. Just because they're a little thin. So even though it might have been overwatered, that doesn't necessarily mean that it took up a lot of the water, because it's damaged. So that pink is the shell, skin, I guess, I don't know what you would call it, that I'm trying to get to, the stem part of this. So now that I have a good chunk of that all the way around, I think I'm going to leave at least this many leaves if I can. I'm just going to make a nice clean cut. Ooh. The thing with root rot is, when your plant does get root rot, it's going to die. Like, it's something that will kill it. But you can usually try to salvage it by doing it this way. I might have waited a little bit too long, and that might be why this black dot is showing up. But it also might just be fine and produce new roots in a couple days. So I'm going to let this sit like any succulent cutting. I don't want to put it in dirt, and I don't want to put it in any water, unless, I guess you could do water propagation, but I personally don't like water propagation, so I won't be doing water propagation, but that's a whole nother video. And then I think what I'll do is I'm going to dip this end in cinnamon, because cinnamon is antifungal, and so any fungus that's on here will be taken away, I guess. And then I'm going to be using all these leaves that it lost to propagate. As you can see, this one's already making new roots. So I will be doing an update on these, so definitely stay tuned for that. Okay, and then so the second example for this video that I wanted to show you guys is an example of underwatering. And so with underwatering, like, sorry, the dog barked. Like I said, it's not going to kill your succulent unless you go like a super, super long time. But this is a really great example, and I thought that you were able to see this really clearly of what it looked like. So here in the center, if you watch me try to move these leaves, so excuse the fingerprints, but you can see that these leaves aren't easily movable, and they're full and they're not wrinkly, and that's what you're looking for with all of your leaves. Whereas if you look at these leaves around the outside, like, I mean, this one's probably just an old leaf, and a lot of leaves like that are older just look like this, but this one's a good majority of the outside leaves are very flexible, very wrinkly. So this is a great indication of underwatering. And so if you are a beginner at succulent growing, this is usually what you should look for of when to water again, because I would rather have you all have your succulents look like this than have your succulents look like the little jewel that got overwatered, because this you can come back from. That is a lot harder. So all you have to do with this is water it. Another great indication is when the soil starts to pull away from the pot. So as you can see here, if I press on the bottom, the soil moves around. Usually the soil is, like in this one, you know, stuck to the pot. This one is very much detached. And so when it detaches like that and sucks in, then that's a good indication that it needs watered. So if you are more advanced at growing succulents, or not even that, but just feel like you're more comfortable with this, I definitely encourage you not to get to this point and to keep your succulents watered enough where they keep their healthy, lush leaves the entire time, because a lot of these, as you can see, this Topsy Turvy is producing a lot of offsets along its stem and out of its base and off of an old head. And so what happens is when you underwater, these are going to be the first ones to kind of start to go. So I'm honestly surprised that these are doing as well as they are. Usually they're completely dried up and look pretty rough at this point. And as you can see, there's a lot of dried up leaves around the bottom of this offset. So that's it for this video. I hope that you guys found that helpful. I had a request for it, so I thought I might shoot it really quick. But that's what I have found for the overwatering and underwatering signs a little bit. Another thing to look for overwatering is usually the leaves will turn a little bit more yellow and translucent and squishy. And so if you're noticing that your succulents are looking like that, that is also a really good indication that you're overwatering your succulents. So like I said, if you are a beginner at growing succulents, maybe wait until your succulents start to have those leaves that pucker and wrinkle until you water, because that's really going to be your safest option to prevent root rot. And so once you get more comfortable in how long it takes to about do that, then you can kind of up your watering routine a little bit. And then as far as watering goes, if this was an arrangement or something, I would use my water syringe, which I'll also include a link down below. Everyone should own that. That's like the most used item in my toolbox. But otherwise, succulents really love their dirt being completely soaked and then allowed to dry completely out. Like my underwatered succulent, how that soil started to pull away, that is a great indication that it needs to be watered again. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please subscribe to our channel and please like this video. Leave us a comment below about any questions that you might have, and don't forget to press the notification bell on the side. So that's it for today. Have a great day, guys. Bye.